Hi.
Hi.
Have we spoken on the phone before?
Yes.
Like years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still very much interested. I resonated with your story as I was taking it during the website and doing the self-study courses and to fast track the career in my business because my son still needs the hearing aids. We're still going through that finance and stuff. It's never going to end, but I want another option for the COVID.
Are you ready to become a yoga trainer? Welcome to the Yoga Trainer Fast Track.
We help experienced yoga teachers become trainers in their very own yoga teacher training school.
If you wish it was easier to have your own training, we share tips and tutorials to make your wish come true.
If you're an experienced yoga teacher, like and subscribe to get free resources so we keep making more videos. With that being said, let's get started.
Still going through that finance and stuff. It's never going to end. But I want another option for the COVID because the different policies that I'm dealing with right now with my in-person business is it's just not doing so well. I've been quarantined for the past 5 days. To see the flux of my business income, like 1 minute I'm okay, and the next minute I have nothing. I need something else to do.
I can actually completely relate to that. And one thing I love about offering yoga teacher training is it gives you some predictability. We offer the 200-hour training in 4 modules. So you have the option of charging your students up front for the entire program, or you can charge them per module, which is sometimes a little bit more accessible for them. So if you've got 5 people enrolled in your first module in a couple of months, that 5 people's income is going to come through again. I've actually taught this program since 2014, and we were live and in person for a long time. I actually had a live training running when the pandemic hit. I remember saying the words, "We're going to meet online today, but next Saturday I'll see you in the studio," and that never happened. It never happened. We never went back to the studios. People that had graduated from that particular training had done half the training in person and half the training online. And then since then, I've offered it 4 more times online. And it's really been what's kept me going and my family going, because the actual drop-in classes went away. We moved to an online format, but that was at a discount. And that was certainly not enough to live on. So it can bring you some predictability, which is just nice, right? Something sustainable.
Are you teaching classes now, Luna?
Yes, I do teach classes online. Some of my students have fallen on the wayside because of illness or injuries. And I do teach in person, but I'm trying to deviate myself a little bit more away from in person and becoming more online.
This really puts you in your niche of I'm the one who is aware of this stuff.
Yes.
There's going to be people out there who are looking for you.
The majority of my clients are seniors. I teach seniors. I teach yoga to cancer patients.
Well, and I think Aruna made a really good point about finding your niche, because you will find the right people that share your values. They take your training either in person under the proper guidelines or online, because Yoga Alliance will let you teach this online until the end of 2023. The other part is now you're training yoga teachers who can take your in-person spot, not to take business away from you, but they can take your in-person spot in the seniors home and in the cancer societies, if that's a place that you can't get yourself, right? So this is the model that I was working towards before the pandemic. I really wanted to move away from teaching so many classes and running a business and leading teacher training and having a family. Something needed to go. And what I thought was, I've trained so many people in this community to be yoga teachers. I don't necessarily need to teach that much anymore. So I sort of put myself into the trainer position and let these teachers go to all of the other places where I was being called to, right? You get called out to community centers and sports team events, right? Everybody wants a yoga teacher on their side and to teach these classes. And I thought, I'm spreading myself too thin, but let these other teachers do it. So you sort of position yourself to move into the trainer role, and then people can go where they want to as far as the teaching parts of it. So,
Luna, I'm
yes.
just curious, like we have on our website this trainer kit to host your free info night. This one here. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I saw it, but I wanted to take the fast track orientation before I
I
do the
see.
kit.
The idea behind the fast track program is it pays for itself. Your registration from your students will cover the finances. And I appreciate that the finances are big, like a big expense for yoga teachers. We're yoga teachers, like we know yoga teachers, most of them aren't rolling around in the money. So we're trying to set the price at 2 to 3 students would cover the cost of the initial intake. From there, it's just the licensing fee for the online training and for the manuals. We've had trainers who actually have hosted the free info night and actually even taken registration before they've even paid us any money. Because they've reviewed the whole training and they're like, yeah, it's good. It covers everything I need. Like I'm ready to be a trainer and I'm ready to just have the manuals handed to me and the course handed to me so that I can teach it. And then from the registrations, they pay for it. So there's nothing really coming out of pocket. I think the big question in terms of finances is like, how many students do you have who you think might be interested in taking it?
Well, currently I have possibly 2 students that are interested, but when they say that they're interested, and then once I give them the finances, I get the excuses. So that's the frustration there. I hit that wall. So that's why I'm coming on just to hear what sometimes I like to hear what other individuals' fire is or motivators, and then maybe I can bypass that wall.
Mhm. Do you have a website?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
That's really good. So like I think you should put up on your website just 200-hour teacher training. You don't have to put the details, but just say like coming soon or something and start collecting emails of people who are interested.
Okay.
And I mean, that's just the way people do business nowadays. Like they kind of make sure they have the interest before they invest in all the time or the money in the course. I've seen that even for workshops. Actually, that might be a good doorway for you is just doing like a workshop
Okay.
on like a 3 hour workshop or a 4 hour workshop kind of thing on chakras or whatever you're into. Our training has the chakras, the Bhagavad Gita, which we actually cover a lot of in the online portion. It has the science of yoga, the yamas and the niyamas, a lot of the 8 limbs. So what style of yoga do you teach? Are you into the philosophy or more into the
I do trauma informed. So I try to empower people how to love their bodies in a new educated way, such as using science, using philosophy, using spirituality. I try to make spirituality as I know bland is the wrong word, but very universal. I try to use different words just and humor in it.
I think that's phenomenal. And I wanted to mention, I can share with you the frustrations of people saying, "Oh, when's your next training? I want to sign up," and then not following through. I get that as a studio owner. At the same time, I really like Aruna's point of put it out there, let people know that it's yoga teacher training is coming to your studio. Depending on how comfortable you feel, you can even put dates. So, it's coming this spring or this summer. It doesn't have to be a hard, firm date. And I find that really motivates people. People need to know that it's not just a possibility, this is actually happening. And then they start coming out of the woodwork and start expressing their interest. And to be quite honest, I've had many people participate in yoga teacher training that I knew because I was their teacher, and I had no idea they were interested in yoga teacher training. They just showed up at the studio once or twice a week, maybe even less than that, and then I announced that there's a yoga teacher training session starting, and I'll get a phone call or an email saying, "You know what, this has been on my mind for a long time. I'd like more information. I think I'd like to do it." And I go, "Wow, that's great. I had no idea you were that serious of a yogi or something like that. It is surprising once you sort of put it out there as something a little bit more firm, people will come to you. And as Aruna said, get that information before you purchase the program. Once you've got, I like the number 4 or 5, right? 3 should, depending on what you charge for your training, because it's your school, you can charge whatever you want. Depending on what you charge, you should have it paid for within 3 students, but get a little profit in there for yourself. So 4 or 5 will give you, a nice profit, but you're also having the experience of learning.
And that's just the first time. Like after the first time, then it's
all profit.
Well, 90%. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking too is how many people take the training who don't ever think they'll be teachers. And in fact, I almost wish there was another word for yoga teacher training, because there's this whole group who just want to deepen their practice beyond the class. And they come in, I'm never going to teach. And surprisingly, a lot of them do end up teaching. But when they walk through the door on the first day, in their minds, they're never going to teach. They're just deepening their practice. So I would also add something about that on your website, that who is it for? Like, it's for people who just want to deepen their practice, or people who want to teach.
That's absolutely accurate. And I've seen it myself. I've had people say, I'm just here for me. I'm just here for me. Next thing, they're subbing at my studio. We actually had one lady who was only in it for herself, but it's almost like, you're yoga teachers, you can't help but share this information with other people. So she completed the program. She knew our studio was sort of capped as far as, how many teachers we had. So she wrote a government grant, and got money from the government to offer classes at our studio. So she created her own paycheck, essentially, because it was seniors that she wanted to teach, and she knew that they didn't have a lot of money. She wanted it to be something that she could offer for a low cost, and she made it happen. And this was somebody who never wanted to teach. So you never know where people are going to end up. Mm-hmm. It's like yogi life training with the bonus of being a teacher if you want to, should be the name of the course, but that's too long.